Hi, welcome to my podcast. I am here with Tomas Kucera, attorney.
Hi.
And it's a pleasure to have you. Finally, we've been meaning to do something together for a while. And, it's come to this point. I had to partition the partition is to,
Yes.
to be able to,
Yes.
start again. So, Tom, who are you? What do you do and why?
Okay. My name is Tomas Kucera, and I am what I do for a living. I'm an attorney. I'm a Florida licensed attorney. So I practice law. I do a lot of real estate. I do transactional work, real estate closings, litigation, civil litigation, real estate litigation. I am a father of two. I guess that's my personal life, and I am a fanatic into martial arts, specifically Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So yeah, that's my drug, so to speak. So, and originally I'm from the Czech Republic, or back in the day it was Czechoslovakia. Now they call it Czechia. I flew into the United States in 1997, so I've lived here almost 30 years now. So I speak fluent Czech, and I speak whatever English you can hear right now. And a little bit of Spanish.
How's it Spanish?
Un
In South
poquito,
Florida?
un poquito. Yeah, I can order food and maybe a few insulting words. I can.
So you can find your way in Miami easy.
Yes.
All right. So you mentioned that you are addicted or a fanatic of the jiu-jitsu,
Yes.
and I like to understand that a little more and how it relates to your practice and
Okay.
how does
So-
it make you who you are.
So since I was a kid, I did a lot. My brother and I were twins, so we did a lot of sports. We started playing ice hockey, which is the second most popular sport in the Czechoslovakia at that time. And we played a competitive hockey for about 10 years. Then I quit in high school, and then we got into some bodybuilding. I played a lot of tennis, and I was always into martial arts. I did some Muay Thai, kickboxing, and then in my 30s, I have discovered jiu-jitsu. And I said this before on other podcasts. That was the thing that I was missing in my life. I pretty much dropped all the other sports I was doing, and I was absolutely absorbed by that sport. So it is a martial art, a grappling martial art. So it's no striking, and I find peace in it. It gives me my strength, my health, my sanity, so to speak. And what I love about the sport the most is it's very cerebral. It's you actually solve problems while you're fighting somebody, because every scenario is different, every opponent is different, the body type is different, and so the longer you do the sport, the more you tend to think about how to solve a problem, how to fight this opponent versus that opponent, and it is very similar to life in a way. So
Or the courtroom.
in a courtroom, or even life, even a regular life, because lives are full of problems. So that's how I would compare it to life. But it is for me. I think it's one of the sports you either love or you hate. There's nothing in between. So I've had people try the sport, and it's absolutely disgusting. You got two dudes on top of each other sweating, and they don't understand that it's perhaps one of the most functional martial arts on earth, which it is. It is very functional. When you spar with your opponent, you go 100%. So, and that's, I train about 3 times a week now. I slow down, with age, you slow down so you recover. But I'm a 2nd degree black belt right now, and it is, like I said, my passion, my drug. And I have met a lot of good friends through the sport. And like I said before on other podcasts, it's a sport where when you're on the mat, you shake hands and you fight a guy that's another lawyer, a doctor, a homeless guy, so to speak, a criminal, drug dealer, a construction guy. It doesn't matter. We're all equal. We're all friends on the mats. And there's this camaraderie, I can't describe it. You're gonna have to become part of the sport to understand it.
I'm a big part of the sport,
Yes.
with my children, not
Yes.
me.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know about the
Yes.
sweaty people and
Yes.
all like
And yeah, I mean, as you know, I did train with your son, and So yeah, he probably understands it more than you do, you know. But
What I want to understand the finger thing. How does that like? Because you, one of the things that I've observed, and I think it kind of relates to the reason why I wanted to have you here in the podcast, is that you would think that fighting is just trying to destroy each other,
Yes.
or when you approach it from a emotional, weak or hurt, state of mind. But when you approach the fight from knowing how strong you are, or knowing and understanding, you use the least possible
Yes.
amount of force
Correct.
to submit the other person.
Correct. So when you start jiu-jitsu, and I mean anybody, it doesn't matter how physical and strong and athletic you are, you get destroyed. You get destroyed by pretty much anybody in the gym that's better than you, and it's a sobering moment. So you have a lot of people, bodybuilders, they roll in, they come in and say, I'm strong, I weigh 230 pounds, and I can bench 400. I say, let's go, and we roll, and usually the person gets destroyed, even by blue belts and purple belts. So, and then that's the moment where you either break and you never come back, or you look at the experience and say, I want to do this just as good, if not better. And then you stay. Your ego kind of gets adjusted. And as you get older in the jiu-jitsu game, so to speak, you realize that you cannot explode and use your strength in every second of the round, because then you get exhausted. And so you slowly learn when you need to expel energy and sometimes just chill, get in a safe position, catch your breath. And again, same thing in life, same thing if it's a street fight, right? And when you get, I guess, to the black belt level, when you roll with opponents that are not as good as you, or women, or children, or weaker opponents, you learn how to let them work. You go 40%, 60% of your speed and skill, so they can learn as well, training with you. And most people don't realize that even me going at 40% with somebody who is weaker and less of a skilled opponent, I still learn. Because by me doing things that are basic for me, but good for him, and sometimes even explaining to my opponent what is it that I'm doing, I get better as well. So the beauty about the sport is that you always get better with every single roll. And some people, I know personally some people that disagree with that.
Okay.
But whether I roll with a high-end black belt, world-class black belt, or somebody who just started last week, I learn from that roll. And I certainly hope it's mutual, So going back to life, I think life's experience and your relationship with your friends, coworkers, business partners should be the same. It should be win-win, And I think that's how life should be lived. And again, this sport kind of makes you realize that. So yeah, it should be win-win. Life for the most part. Yeah, not zero-sum game, win-win.
Sounds very rewarding.
It is. It really is. So, and so when you come to the legal world, right, the law work, in jiu-jitsu, you also, okay, when you compete, that's different. When I compete, I want to destroy my opponent. He's not my friend. For the 5-6 minute round, I may know the guy from before. We may talk about family and stuff, but for those 5 minutes in competition, he's my enemy. That's the 5-6 minutes that, it sounds bad, but you want to be ruthless, okay? And you need to consider strategy. You need to consider his height, his strength, his flexibility, his skill, his strengths, and his weaknesses. So when it comes to work, legal work, lawyer work, you sort of do the same thing. You look at your case, you look at your client, and you try to evaluate the strength and weaknesses of your case, and frankly, your client as well, right? If your client, for example, makes a bad witness, he or she is not likable, which happens, or he is likable, he's superbly likable person, then yeah, you want to try it by jury, where peers of 6 people look at the guys like, I like him. If you have a client that happens that just appears to be an a-hole, I don't want to trial by jury, right? I want to request trial by the judge, because judges are less prone to emotions. And same thing goes with legal strategies. If I have a good case, I exploit the weaknesses of the opponent, and I try to present my case. If I have a bad case, You know, it's sort of like fighting somebody in jiu-jitsu or in a street fight that is much better than you. You want to attack his weaknesses, and let's just say there's just one. Well, that's the one you want to come after, so you can win. You know, and so the legal work, so to speak, is very similar. You know, so that's why find, I guess, the jiu-jitsu journey similar to life and to the work that I do. No.
Well, you're one of those people that lives by your beliefs,
Yes.
and you really represented one of the things that as we mature, you know, if you mature,
Yes.
some people don't,
Yes.
but when you mature, you start to realize that your decisions have consequences,
Yes.
that perhaps, you know, you make money with your consequences and you have a good life, but you just, it's money, like, but what makes you happy? Is it the balance? Is it
Right.
the continuity of teaching other?
Yes. And just because you make money doesn't mean you're necessarily fulfilled and happy. You know, and there are plenty of people. I personally know people for whom money is number one. You know, they'll do anything for money. And money is not bad, by the way. You know, some people
No,
try to equal
absolutely.
money to evil, and it's not. You know, I don't think you can help yourself, your family, and others if you're poor. You know, I think as you get older, I think that's the natural way of things. As you get older and more mature, you should make more money. You know, because you have lived those shitty years, right? You were young and inexperienced, and so that alone comes with a bonus. You're full of energy and hope, so you're mentally and physically you're ready to face the weakness of not having money. But when you get older, you kind of lose that, but at the same time you gain wisdom, you know, and perhaps as a human being you learn how to live by the golden rule, which means you don't do to the other guy what you wouldn't want the other guy to do to you. Okay? And so, having said that, I know several people for whom money is everything, and then you look at their lives and their vibe, and they're just not happy, you know, and they have cars, they have real estate, fat bank accounts, and I wouldn't trade my life with them for nothing, you know. And I'm not a super wealthy guy. I'm doing okay, but you know, if you don't have a friend to talk to, you know, or hang out with, and again, friend, somebody who you literally just talk to with no end goal. You just talk to them because you want to talk to them. You can talk for 2 or 3 hours. You start with politics, go to, hey, remember back in the day, what happened, blah, 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 blah. And then you are done with the conversation and you kind of leave your friend and you have this good feeling inside. You know, that's sort of a true friendship. And also a person that's there for you if you truly need the person to be there, you know. And again, nothing in return. And then that I think is life fully lived. I think you should do well for yourself, for your family, but you need to give back because that's fulfilling in itself. And you should do it because you want to, not because you think you're gonna get something in return, you know. And so, yeah, there are plenty of people who have a lot of money because that's all they focused on. And I truly believe that, especially when they get old, they look back and they sort of regret. But you know, sometimes it's too late.
Well, there's always time, you know. There has to come a moment where you regret something.
Yeah, sure. But you know, along the way, perhaps certain people were hurt, and you know that you know what the comparison is. It's like when you take a nail and you take a bunch of nails and nail them into a piece of wood, and you know by doing it you're hurting the wood, and the nails are absolutely pointless. And then later on you said, you know, I screwed up. Let me pull all the nails out. The nails are no longer there, but the holes are in there. Okay, and those are the scars, you know. And nobody lives perfect lives, but I think you should. I think the goal is to try to live as good of a life as possible. And again, I always mention the golden rule. Like, always ask yourself, would you like that person to do this to you? Would you like that person to lie to you or cheat you out of this opportunity or money? No. So why would you do it to them? You know, and whether you're religious or spiritual or not, it doesn't matter. In my life, my experience is, and I cannot point what caused it, but like this sort of this saying, do good, be good, and it'll be returned to you. It works. It works for me, and it works for the people that I admire. So the people that I admire the most are usually business partners, clients, that number one are successful. They do well, but they're respected. They respect their employees, their friends. They're liked and not fake, like real. And those are the people I truly admire the most. Not the guy that has $7 billion in the bank, but nobody likes him, because what he does is evil. And there are some, I believe.
No, in order to be good in the world, there has to be evil. It's
Yeah.
just life.
Yes. Yes.
Why law, though?
So I think I decided to go to law when I was finishing community college. And it was because I knew by finishing college, you really don't have any certification, no degree. I didn't feel like I was going to be a good businessman at that time. And a friend of mine is an attorney. He was always telling me, hey, you can do it too. And then I think what attracted me to it is that first of all, it's practical. Being a lawyer, knowing even doing by the way, even doing a traffic stop, right? I think I know more about my rights than a regular person out there, right? I'm not going to be a lawyer, but if I get pulled over or anything, I know more what to say and how to act than a regular person. So I think that legal education is practical for regular life all the time, every day, and people call me. So, but secondly, I think you can make a difference. And I'm not saying every case that I handle makes a difference, makes me feel good, but there are some cases that when they're over or my legal representation ends, I did good. Like I feel good. And sometimes I don't even charge, right? And I do it sometimes. I go by what's right, and so and I think that first of all, I think legal profession can be fairly profitable if you take care of your practice. But secondly, I think you do make a difference. I think, okay, here's another thing. I think a profession today, any profession, especially in the rise of the AI and all these influencers, right? Uh-huh. I think whatever you decide to do in life has to make a positive impact on the world. And in other terms, I think it's the service to the community, right? So whether you're a realtor, a lawyer, doctor, a carpenter, a plumber, think about it, what you do. You actually help the community. You help others, right? Yeah. And if you get paid well for it, good for you. That's how it should be. And then you look at some other professions. I don't think we have to name them. How is it that you benefit others in the community? And if the answer is like none, or it's actually negative, those are the ones I don't think they're internally deeply fulfilled people, no matter how much money they make, And it can buy you material things and buy you short-term happiness, so to speak. But I don't think that's the goal of life, But that's the idealistic part of me, I guess,
Well, it's very noble.
Yes.
No, and definitely. I've, encountered lawyers that, they just take on a client just to, make a buck or another one, and then all lawyers get a bad rap, and then especially real estate too.
Yes.
I mean, I started young, and being a woman in real estate, sometimes it's really hard. I mean,
yes.
You have to fight tooth and nail for things sometimes, and, and then you see your true colors, like you said, in the 5-minute battle, and wow, some things you just don't expect. Yes. But
and what I know, go ahead.
People like you.
Oh, thank you. And what I noticed that's again, this is my kind of last few years of my life, that a true human character gets usually revealed in two circumstances. One is when there's hard times, because everybody can be a good friend when things are good. And we're best buddies. You go drinking, go for vacations, you name it. When there's hard times, you really see who your true friends are or good people are. And then the second one is when it comes down to money. I have known people for many, many years, and I would put my hand in the fire for them. And then there was circumstances where the greed came through, and they literally became evil because of want of money. And again, money is not evil. I think we should make good money, a lot of money, But
People,
so
the people behind it.
Yes, yeah.
Money, guns, pencils, books. No.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes, all of it. Yeah. But so I guess here was my theory. This see, you make me think now. I think I got into fighting and law. Oh, see, addressing some childhood issues, I guess.
Peeling the layers.
Yes, I am. Right. It is I didn't want to be vulnerable, whether it's physically or legally. Yes. I think in the physical world, it always comes down to the last step of any enforcement is physical violence, right? Whether it's the government or legal world. Look, when I initiate eviction against you, right? You didn't pay my rent. I initiate eviction. First send you a first notice, then I file the eviction. You still didn't leave. Then I get you the judgment, and then there's a 24-hour notice on your door. I gave you all those steps. You still don't move. What happens next? The sheriff shows up with the guns. So, and same thing goes with international conflicts, right? Whether we like it or not, the big bully on the block always wins, right? And so in interpersonal relations, right, knowing how to fight, I think is very good. You shouldn't use it, but it's good to have it. It's like the fire extinguisher on the wall. You hope to never use it, but it should be there just in case it needs to be used, And then with a legal knowledge, I guess, with a law degree, with a bar license, I think I'm more equipped to face, how would I put it? Paper adversity, than somebody who's not. Somebody who has to hire me.
Well, freedom.
They just don't know. Freedom, yes.
At the end of the day.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So, yes, I guess I just kind of discovered myself a little bit, I didn't want to be vulnerable, whether
Welcome
it's...
to the podcast.
Yeah, I know. Thank you. Now you should charge me for...
No, it's okay.
Therapy lesson.
This is one of those what goes around comes around.
Yeah, right?
No, absolutely. Yeah. And that is the purpose of it, because I really see that you live by, whether you had it fresh in your mind or not, but it was there by doing good in the world. And in your practice, and the jiu-jitsu, and the way that you handle yourself.
It's
a good feeling.
It feels good, and I guess I don't know if we're getting towards the end of this, but like on spiritual level, and I don't mean to preach, but I think we all realize that. Here's that, right? So it is estimated that about 110 billion people lived on this planet in the history of humanity. 110 billion, and so far nobody got out alive, right? Right? Yeah. Most of them are already dead, and the rest of us, let's face it, right? We're going to go. And then I guess the question is what's going to happen after, right? Some people believe nothing, just nothing, and that's fine too. I respect that. I personally don't believe it. And I think life, as you get older, you realize how short life is, And sometimes I'm just sitting in peace, and I'm thinking about when I'm 80, and I hope I will be, and look back, it's like, okay, I could have anything I want, right? Theoretically. What is it good if I look back? And first of all, I'm already 80, so I'm old and decrepit. And I look back, and it's like, I lived a shitty life. I hurt so many people. I helped no one. And for a brief satisfaction of making big buck and buying an expensive car and a boat or whatever, all of that goes away. I think what stays with you is what you have done and how you have changed the world around you. And it should be always in the positive, always. For anyone.
As a dad, too.
Yes. And then you can probably equate it to some verses in the Bible. I'm not an expert on Bible, but it's just a common sense. That's how I feel.
Most of the religious books, the Bible, the Quran, most of them, if you start to decode a little bit, the background as to the do's and don'ts.
Yes.
Like the don'ts really don't feel good when you do.
Of course not. Unless you're a psychopath, and those people, I guess supposedly they feel nothing, right? And you would think, oh, good for them, they feel nothing. Well, I don't know because exactly. So, but I think the whole society, human society, relies on the fact that we all live or try to live by this moral code that's either in the Bible or literally just embedded in us through our parents or through just instinct, right? Because if it wasn't that way, there's always more people than law enforcement, right? There's more of us. If we all decided to create chaos, cops can do nothing about it. So I know that I shouldn't run the old granny crossing the sidewalk. I know I shouldn't start beating somebody in the shop just because I want to. It feels wrong. We know. Generally speaking, we intuitively know what's right and wrong. And so most of us try to live like that. We really do. And then you have those, the Bible people would say it's the devil. Maybe it is. Those little tests. I call them the tests. Hey, if you bend this corner and you screw over that person, you're going to make $70,000. Come on, do it. And that's the test. See, those are the little tests. It could be $70,000. It could be $2 billion. It could be $5. I'm walking in Publix and the lady dropped a $10 bill from her pocket. Am I going to pick it up and say nothing? I'm going to say, excuse me, ma'am. If I pick it up, I got $10, you'll never know. Nobody will know, right?
Well, not her. She dropped it.
Exactly. And so, those little tests that are thrown at us. And I think the more successful you are, I think the tests are even more frequent. But I think if you're successful the right way, the easier it is for you to say, no.
Like the jiu-jitsu.
Yes, exactly.
You build that muscle.
Yes.
All right, we're a little bit towards the end of it. So.
Yes.
Two or three more things. Like
Okay.
Little pearls.
Okay.
St. Thomas. Cool, right?
St. Thomas?
How did you like St. Thomas?
The school? I liked it. It was, so law school overall, I think they say it's you either hate it or you kind of love it. I think it was the most intellectual experience I've ever had. And I met some friends that are my friends still today. They're usually lawyers too. We refer cases to each other. And for me, it was an awesome experience. I spent 2.5 years there. I fast-tracked it. I took as many classes as I could. And I actually graduated with a joint degree. I got a JD, which is the law degree, and an MBA in, I think, international business. So, but I liked it. I liked it a lot. It was... I became friends with some of the faculty members, the associate dean, and a lot of my friends from those years are still my friends today.
I went there for a semester.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, nice.
In campus. I was working a lot in the mortgage industry back then.
Okay.
And it just got too overwhelming. But I think it was one of the best experiences. The professors were so humane.
Yes.
And
Yes.
The culture was really good.
Yeah, it's a small campus. It's a private school. I liked it a lot. Yeah. Good memories.
A kid that's going there soon. He's gonna be a football star.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm sure it changed a lot. I think.
I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm excited about it. But hey, you stay there for long enough, so.
Yes.
That was good.
Yes.
Yeah. So, what's your biggest fear?
Oh.
Only if you're comfortable.
Yeah, no, I get it. Biggest fear.
I don't want people fearing my lawyer yet, though. I want to say
I really have to go deep. I mean, there are some fears I don't want to even vocalize. Because by vocalizing them, I mean, this is kind of generic, but I think my fear is when I look at what's happening in the world today, I see a lot of things going the wrong way, I think. And there are some really good forces in this world, and I'm getting deep now. I can talk about this.
Go for it. I had Gonzalo here, the painter of this beautiful artwork. So
this could be a conversation for hours, So and we don't have hours. So I think one of my fears is that where I see some of the things in this world going now is a direction I'm sort of afraid, But then I kind of take a step back and I think I still believe there's more good forces on this earth or this universe than the bad ones, So I think it's just a test, and whether it's political, military, overall, it's just there are a lot of things that are happening in the last few years that I just don't like where things are heading.
Intensity.
Yes, and even the direction, the forces that control this world, so to speak, But then again, I have to remind myself, I truly firmly believe that the good will always prevail. It's just sometimes it's in the tricky ways, and sometimes it takes a while. And then, we cannot change the world We can just do the little thing within us, you know.
We can only live every day by what we say and what
Yes,
we live.
yes,
That's
yes,
it.
and
As long as you
that's the
don't
most we can
betray
do,
yourself.
and yeah, and you cannot focus on the bad all the time because then you're bitter. Every single day, you know, you die a bitter man. Like, so
And fear is a good thing. It keeps you awake and
Yes,
alert, and it
yes,
keeps you
yes.
training and
yes,
keeps
yeah.
you moving forward. And biggest dream?
Oh, biggest dream. Okay, so I biggest dream at my age. I want one of my dreams was to come to this country and establish myself, and I did that.
Okay.
And I met some incredible people along the way, and I have two beautiful kids, and yeah, just to okay. This is again generic as hell, but dream. It's not really a dream. I just want to live the rest of my days in this life, right, on this earth, in this life, as best as I could, as I can, and it is within my grasp, obviously, and do as much good as I can, and obviously along the way make money, which in turn makes you more suited and more powerful to do more good. You know, so is it a dream? No, it's the hopefulness I have for myself. You know, to
Expand.
yeah, and spread good. Spread good. You know, whether it's through my work, my words, teaching jiu-jitsu. I love it. You change people's lives. You really do. You know. But one of the last thing. Listen to what happened to me like 3 weeks ago. I'm walking out of Starbucks here, the one by in Sunrise, and my nickname in the gym is Ice. They call me Ice or Iceland, right?
Okay.
And I'm walking into my car, you know, in my thoughts. I was doing some work in Starbucks, and there's a big SUV driving by. Windows are down, and there's a guy says, "Ice, Iceland, ice," and I said, "What?" And there's these two young kids, you know, two boys, teenagers, late teenagers. Hey, and the kid that's screaming at me like big freaking smile, and I was like, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm looking at him, I don't know who he is. He said, "You probably don't remember me," and I said, "No, I'm sorry." And he's like, I used to train in Davie in the gym that I trained in, you know, American Top Team, Davie. I trained in Weston and Davie, as you know. And he said, I used to train in Davie, and I was a kid then. But you taught me a heel hook and a straight foot lock or something. And I said, I did? He was like, oh my God, you have no idea. Since then, I was hitting it all the time. And you're my favorite black belt. And I was like, oh crap, oh dude, you know, we shook hands. I still don't know who the kid was. But he recognized me because I changed a little bit, but he changed a lot, right? He could have been, I don't know, 13. He's 18 now, right?
Made a positive impact.
So yes, and it was incredible. You know, I'm getting emotional now. Like, fuck, I had to call a friend of mine. Like, can you imagine this just happened? You know, like, and he did the smile on his face. You know, so it was good. So yeah, I changed the world to the better.
There you go. So
Yes.
more of that. And,
Yes.
you know, just bring it on.
Push forward.
Okay, I love it. Thank
Yeah.
you, Tom. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming and thanks for sharing this,
Oh, thank you. Thank you, guys.
layer with us.